motion picture shit. This ain't a dream, we really live this shit. Don't intervene, yo, we with this shit. That's where the most high, we the most lit.
Hey.
All three boys are here tonight. Good evening, brothers.
Yeah, what up, Nelly Nell?
And everybody in the chat, of course.
Bogey in the house. I'm Alex, the hustler in the house.
Y'all ever read the chat?
What?
Huh?
Y'all ever read the chat?
Tonight or just in general?
Y'all ever read the chat?
Yeah. Yes, senor.
But have you ever read it on weed, man?
Ah,
This ain't
no, I have
the
not.
craziest shit, man.
No, I have not.
Oh,
We're doing a full movie review of the half-baked film.
Heck yeah, Stoner Classic from 1998. And we like to watch movies that Nelly's never watched before, and you didn't watch this one before research for this show, right?
Exactly. Never seen it. I heard about it, and I just as I thought, I think that was shot in Toronto, and it was.
Wow.
Because I was
Well,
in 98, because I was acting then.
Whenever they want
I
to make
remember when they
New
were
York.
shooting it because they were casting and stuff. That and remember that one show I mentioned before with I think Spade, not Spader, but James. Is it Spade?
David Spade.
David Spade?
Oh yeah, David Spade. He did something Men at Work or something, or Working.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I know that was shot around the same time. They were both shot in Toronto. That's where, and sure enough, I saw in the credits. It was based in New York, obviously, you know.
Yeah.
But
and shout out to the chat. If you're listening to this in podcast form, make sure you check us out live on the Silver Screen Breakdowns YouTube channel, because we record this Friday nights, 5 West Coast time, 8 Eastern time, and then you get shouted out for being in the chat. And we got guys like Phil in the chat. What up?
Got Miles here.
We got
Boy.
what up? Antonio in the house.
Birthday twin.
What up, Emil?
What up,
Speaking of
Emil?
Toronto. And what up, Kidda? Let's smoke it up.
What's up, kid?
Make sure you subscribe to the Silver Screen Breakdowns if you're watching on the Hustler channel right now. The link is in the chat.
Yeah, that Hustler channel is really, you know, it's the top dog, man. It's the top dog right now.
Yeah, we got
It is the bee's knees.
I'll go over there and get my, you know, get the lights up there and stuff. Get some.
It's the cat's pajamas.
Let's set the stage here real quick for Half Baked. So, 1998 movie. It's Dave Chappelle and Neal Brennan who wrote it. And I believe Neal Brennan's in there, does a little cameo somewhere, but it's Neal Brennan and Dave Chappelle, who were notorious for the Chappelle Show. Both of them, I think, writing like, I don't know, 95% of the skits or something like that.
In the beginning,
this is kind of where it all started with their writing collaborations.
Fun fact: it went like this. Hello, hey Neil, it's me, Dave. Hey Dave, if you get a call from Universal, or who did this film?
Who did this film? This was Universal.
He says, you're gonna get a call from Universal, and when they ask you if you're writing a movie with me, say yes. And it's like, okay, you know what I mean? And then he gets the phone call, and it's Universal, and they're like just clarifying what Dave is saying is true, because he had just landed this deal, and part of the deal is that him and his partner Neil are gonna write it. You know what I mean?
And they wrote this really quick. I think it was. It was one of those eureka things where
they had like a week. Was it a week, or was it like 3 days? Or something
no. I mean, they wrote.
Was it a month?
They wrote the synopsis in like 5 or 6 days, something like that. Yeah. But I think it took them.
Oh, yeah, that's quick.
About 30 days, I think, to write the.
See, that's what I'm saying. It was only about a month.
Yeah, the initial script, and obviously changes happen, you know, from there. And they really wanted to make a stoner classic, and it was funny. Dave Chappelle, he wasn't in New York, you know, for his whole life. Moves back, you know, before they start doing this, and just like in the movie where they get like a weed delivery service, he was like, "Man, this is so cool," and like was like talking to the guy, and he was like, "I bet you meet like a whole bunch of characters doing this, and he's like, "Oh, you wouldn't even believe me if I told you every kind of smoker, we're meeting." And then that's why they have the whole stoner, the different types of stoner montage,
right? And this is what we call the after school special smoker. You know what I mean?
This is the enhancement smoker.
And you know what's cool too? You see that that's 25 years ago. To see how it's come along since then of what they presented in the film.
Yeah.
To what it is now. It's not that far off, really. Other than the fact there's way more people doing it.
So wait a second. Look at that. Remember one time I was like, we were like brainstorming ideas, and I said, man, we should start doing things like on Silver and like 50th or whatever, like, like what's coming up. And then I didn't think that Half Baked was one of them. Look at that. We're on the silver anniversary of the Half Baked.
25 years, 1998. Pretty crazy.
And when did it come out? In 98?
It came out February 16th. 1998. So the budget was $8 million, $17.5 million in the box office, which isn't a lot. I didn't go see what was coming out like the same weekend or anything, but this is just one of those stoner movies that didn't really do that good in the theaters, and I think was considered like almost a flop, like initially, just based on the numbers and the money brought in. But 25 years later, man, like this is just a stoner classic.
I'm actually surprised it was 8 million was the budget. I would think it'd be less.
Yeah, it looks like it, right?
I mean, it's late 90s, right? And like it's clearly like only like a handful of different settings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like
that's true.
The shots of the cities are all like B-rolls and shit, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm surprised it did cost that much. Maybe like I mean, what? Okay, you would know more. Why do you think it would cost that much to make this type of movie? Like, even though, they probably shot this movie within 60 days, they probably shot this entire movie.
Well, I'm not the greatest on numbers, so I've never. Well, I mean, I co-produced the film and stuff, but I just remember, going back and paying full. I heard paying full was 15 mil at one time.
Okay, and that seems pretty. It seems like a pretty wide scale movie. Like, even though if you think about it, it's just like the couple apartments, right? The couple apartments.
Yeah, there weren't that many locations
that they go back to a couple times, and the rest are all like inside buildings where you could just have a building that has every. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the like studios, and you have your interiors and stuff. You can shoot the interiors in any studio. Really, it doesn't have to be in that city. But obviously, we shot in Toronto and in New York, just like this film. Same thing. And then I'm watching the film thinking it's in New York, and then I'm recognizing Sam the Record Man, which is it's on Yonge Street, which is the main street and that goes through the heart of Toronto.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, this is shot in Toronto. And then I recognize all these landmarks downtown. Because I shot downtown several times in Toronto, doing commercials and films and stuff, right? And I was watching with my neighbor, and he was saying, how do you know it's Toronto? I go, I know those stores. I know where they're shooting, exactly what stores they're shooting in front of. And
you
that
got
store
an eye
is
for
only
that
in
shit,
Toronto.
man.
Huh?
Like, you got the eye for that shit. Because like even when we're watching some of the movies that we have reviewed already, and you're like going to locations because you just, this is where it's at right here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's cool. I like it, but at the same time, it takes a little bit of the mystery out of it, or the anonymity.
When okay.
Because you kind of know, right?
Anonymity.
And I know that. I mean, they had so many cameos in this movie, but I guess in '98, these people weren't even really the superstars that they are, today.
Like Clarence Williams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Clarence. I don't know his name. I've seen him in so many movies and shows. You don't know his name, but everybody recognizes that old dude.
Yeah, for sure.
And he looks the same too. He doesn't really seem to age. He's always the same. Looks like he's always like 65 years old in every show.
Yeah, you're talking about Samson, right?
Yeah,
Samson. Yeah.
For for anyone who doesn't know, Clarence Wilson. This is Samson, smarty pants.
Yeah. I think I see him right on the couch. Stephen Wright was a big comedian in the late 80s and 90s. Remember, the guy was always on the couch.
Yep.
Baked.
Yeah.
Sleeping. I don't know if it was sleeping or it was baked.
I think a little bit of both. I think it was sleeping. And it's funny. They said Dave and Neal came up with that guy. Like a lot of these guys that say are kind of based on maybe people that they know or a combination of people that they know. And they said the guy on the couch was all the like sleepless nights that they were writing material and writing things for this movie. They said there was always someone random just like sleeping on their couch. And so that's why they had to like make a joke around the guy on the couch.
Hey, the guy. Hey, how about that one dude, Samson? He's dope because for me, it's a low-key horror movie. The Tales from the Hood.
Tales from the Hood he was in, yeah.
So good.
I remember that. So I saw that kind of recently. I think last year sometime.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm glad you saw that. So someone, because I've asked people, I've never seen it. So good. Because they got
you play all of the same characters too.
And they do like monster. They have like, they have a monster horror story. They have a voodoo like doll horror story.
Oh, that voodoo doll one with Corbin Burnson, I think his name.
Oh yeah, and then David Alan Grier was in the other one where he's the monster, where his son views him as a monster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like through his son's eyes, he sees the dad as a monster. The dad's abusive. He beats the fuck out of the kids. You know what I mean?
Hey, also, what's the one with Ray Don Chong? Ray Don Chong, the daughter of Cheech. Chong's daughter, right? I don't know if it's Tales from the Crypt, but you ever see the one that she was like a gargoyle?
Damn.
Because she was kind of hot. She was good looking back.
Which one is the one? Where she was like stoned. She was like stoned and she comes alive at night. Is it that one?
No. What happens real quick? This guy runs into a gargoyle late at night. It freaks him out. Gargoyles are scary things.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like a Mothman or something. And then it says in its language or in English is don't tell anybody that you saw me and we'll let you live or something like that, right? Then years go by, then he meets Ray Don Chong's character and they get married and everything, have a couple kids. And it turned out that he said, I have to tell you a secret that I was supposed to swear not to tell anybody. And he tells her, right? And then she said, I told you not to tell anyone. And then she's the monster.
Oh, shit.
And then she actually kills him. And then he sees what his kids actually looked human, but they actually weren't human. They're like alien gargoyle things. So she looked like a gargoyle, then the kids did, and then he saw for what she really was.
Damn.
It was a spooky one. It was spooky, man, I tell you.
Whoa.
All right, so
I gotta check that out.
And Chong is in this one, right? Chong. Speaking of Chong, there, Alex.
Yeah. I think he's more than a cameo, but yeah, one of the cameos.
He's like one of the B characters, right?
Yeah. And the main character is Dave Chappelle, obviously. Jim Breuer, who's playing Brian. Harland.
Breuer makes a good stone dude. Like, I don't know. That guy looks like a real
like
stone
that
guy.
In real life.
I think he is, isn't he?
And we do have a little clip here. Go ahead and
what happened to Bogart? Matrix?
Yep, in the Matrix. But check this out. This was from the beginning of the movie, and a couple favorite scenes kind of mashed up together here. From the very beginning of the movie, they introduce all the characters, and then they have their first smoke session. And what comes after smoking? Of course, the munchies.
Yo, who's on munchies tonight, yo?
What do you guys want?
Get some sour cream and onion chips with some dip, man. Some beef jerky, some peanut butter. Get some Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars, a whole lot of hot. Make sure chocolate, gotta have chocolate, man. Some popcorn, red popcorn, graham crackers. Graham crackers is the marshmallows, the little marshmallows and little chocolate bars, and we'll make some s'mores, man. Also celery, grape jelly, Captain Crunch with the little crunch berries. Pizzas, we need 2 big pizzas, man. Everything on them with water, a whole lot of water, and Funyuns.
If I'm not back in 10 minutes, call the police. Hey, girl. You hungry?
Fuck you, nigga.
I'm sorry. I was talking to the horse here.
Oh, man. That I don't care how many times I watch that. That gets me every time.
That's hilarious. I can stop laughing at that. I saw that last night. It was funny, man.
So what'd you think of first of their smoking ritual that they had, and then the munchies after?
Well, the Munch is accurate. Well, yeah, I don't know what to expect. I was thinking, man, I knew the story wasn't going to be like a hard ass story based on the genre of the film,
Yeah.
right? So I wasn't expecting too much, but the one-liners are amazing. I can't remember all of them. I'm sure you got some of them written down or from memory.
Yeah.
The one-liners are phenomenal, and the ritual is hilarious. The effects, when they're floating in the air and stuff. The effects that you can tell they're not the most expensive effects, but they work for the genre of the film, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first 10 minutes, the first time I laughed was when he said that you got to make yourself remembered when you go into these stores because they'll forget who you are. So he says, remember black ass. Oh, black ass. Yes, black ass.
Why didn't you move this earlier?
Yeah, that's what I
remember.
That's my first big laugh. And that was like in the first 5 or 6 minutes, I think.
That's when he's kind of just explaining where you can buy weed in New York after he gets off of work.
Yeah. So they didn't recognize him until he did that, and that's good. There's some truth to that, though. You don't remember. If I go to these neighborhoods where I'm thinking I'm like the few black people, like, how do you not remember who I am? I'm like, I'm rare.
There you go. Like Peacock said, say it with me, bodegas.
Miles, big Miles.
So funny though. Yeah. So they show going into one of the bodegas and then having to moon him to get him to remember who he was. And then he was like, yeah, I used to buy stuff from the Jamaicans in Central Park, but he's like, I don't be doing that shit no more. Because don't even be weed half the time.
Yeah, right. It's spliced with something.
Yeah, and then he's like, if you can afford it, the best way is a delivery run by a guy named Samson Simpson. And then they kind of show the interaction of the delivery guy on the bike. I mean, that's how they're working it in New York, right? Don't even need a car, just get on the bike. And comes there, and the guy,
like a courier.
Yeah, there you go. And he's like, you want the highs, mediums, or lows? And Chappelle's like, how are the highs? As he'd say, I'd say they have a piney, almost minty taste, and notice the green hairs and the rich greenery and the red hairs. And it's like, man, what did you go to weed college?
Yeah, they just fluffed it off like it was nothing. It's like, what?
Yeah. So funny. And
he never shut the door. You know that Chappelle's character didn't shut the door.
Huh.
I always remembered that.
Interesting. Yeah,
he just left the door open. The guy shut the door. The weed delivery. Hey,
Noble's in the house. What up?
I'll do a little guy.
All right, and then
he just left. He just leaves.
Yep. Then they had their smoking ritual with Billy Bong Thornton. They got their big hookah, and then they got to get the munchies afterwards. And we showed that, Brian giving the big list, and then Peacock said it right there. That was another one-liner. I cut it out just to get the clip under a minute. He's like, anything else? And Dave Chappelle, give me a box of condoms and what's that stuff? We used to eat it all the time back in the day. Oh yeah, pussy.
Used to eat it all the time. back in time. Used to. Not currently.
But yeah, and then Kenny, he just messes up. He sees that horse and has to feed him all the candy and pink popcorn and everything. And that's kind of what happens. The horse is a diabetic, apparently. The horse dies. And then that's kind of where everything starts. Kenny goes to jail.
Yeah, if not back by such and such, make sure you call. Yeah, he's never coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. And Peacock said, R.I.P. Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman? He was in that?
Yeah, well, I thought it was Will Hartman who's the main right?
Oh, Phil Hartman, it was like that comedian from
Harland. Yeah. What was Phil Hartman?
But what was his character?
Harland I don't remember seeing him. Was Kenny's character. That's the actor that played Kenny.
Who Phil Hartman's?
Yeah, no. Harland Williams. That's the actor that played.
Smoke a lot.
Yeah, my main man who should smoke a lot. And yeah, so they all pass out, and the next morning is them finding out that Kenny's in jail.
At 8:30 in the morning. That's early for a weed head, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. And they have no idea how they're gonna get him out because they tell all we have to do is raise 10% of 1 million. And yeah, they already know. By our calculations, it's fucking impossible. Yeah, Kenny, he has no idea how long he can last. They ask him, how long you think you can last in here? 6:30.
I felt bad for the guy sitting in the tank when he shouldn't be.
Yeah, and because you look at especially compared to everyone else, he was like the kindergarten teacher, seemed like a little bit, I don't know, I don't know about naive, but I don't know, just
yeah,
seemed
naive,
different than
pretty
the
much.
other guys.
Mm-hmm. You nailed it.
But yeah, so then they have no idea what to do. But they meet up with Mary Jane, which
Mary Jane.
Her name is Mary Jane Potman, which is even funnier. And it's because her dad was a drug dealer and loved weed, so named her Mary Jane. Just makes a lot of sense. And she brings them to work. And it's funny because he doesn't want her to know about the weed and all that. And we have one of our first crossovers, movie crossovers here. So I like when movies kind of do little hat tips or maybe pay homage to different movies with just a scene in there. I don't know if you guys caught it, but there is a scene where Thurgood, Dave Chappelle, asked Mary Jane to go out for some ice cream. And I don't know if you guys the movie Scarface, but in Scarface, do you remember he asked her to go out with some ice cream with me and my friend? And I mashed up the clips here so we could see them because very cool.
Is that deliberate, you're saying, or no?
I think so. I think it was a deliberate hat nod to Scarface because there was multiple hat nods to different movies in here, and this I think was just the first one along the way.
Oh, Scarface! For some reason, when you said Scarface, I'm thinking The Godfather.
Well, see, and the guy's name is Scarface in the movie, and they reference that. Oh, you're Scarface, huh? Oh, yeah, love Al Pacino, man.
Oh, so, I missed that, man. I missed that.
So, just that is also an ode to Scarface. And here we go. Here's the scene. Scarface first.
Hey, sabrosura. You want to have some ice cream with my friend of me?
Get lost, greaseball.
Look at that.
Ice cream?
All right.
You said ice cream?
Girl like ice cream.
Oh, come on, man. That's not gonna work.
It's perfect. I could feel she wanted me to say something. I had to make my move while the guys were asleep.
I'm real bad at this kind of thing, but you think sometime we could get together, maybe go out for some ice cream or something? I don't know.
Motherfucker said ice cream,
Dad, it's ice cream. Hey, all the boys in the car need to get out.
Dork.
Now.
Thanks a lot,
Talking to
you. Thanks for the ride.
Fucking dork, man.
And it seemed a little immature. It was quite embarrassing to try and score with, a hot chick, and your boys are acting up like that.
Pretty dorky to ask a chick out, for ice cream. Sounds a little goofy and squarish to these type of guys. And but that definitely was a hat nod to Scarface right there. And
no doubt, I missed that, but you're absolutely right.
Classic.
Rachel True is looking cute up in this film too.
Yeah, for sure. And Bogey, you missed you missed the scenes, but I was talking about. Remember how I talked about scenes where they do little hat tips to other movies?
Yeah.
So in Half Baked, you have the scene where Thurgood asks Mary Jane Potman, asks her out to ice cream, and they're like, motherfucker said ice cream, B. And that was a hat tip to Scarface. I don't know if you remember the scene where it's like, hey, you want to get some ice cream?
Yeah, go get some ice cream.
He's like, you said ice cream? That's not gonna work, man. Didn't work then, and it didn't work now. He did get her.
I never noticed that. That's really subtle, and it's layered, multi-layered because it's Scarface saying it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's what Scarface who's making fun of him. Ice cream bee.
That's what I'm saying.
And see exactly who said it. Peacock, Cuban bee. Exactly. Scarface is Cuban.
Cuban bee.
Just like Tony Montana from Cuba. Same thing. That's the hat nod to Scarface. Multiple hat nods to multiple movies.
Cuban bee.
And what up, Derek? Salute.
What it do?
Yeah, Derek.
So one of the things that I read in the production notes here was that, well, I mean, everything in every movie is always there's no accidents, right? Like even if something seems by accident, it's not. It's all well thought out. And one thing that they say is like in their apartment, they wanted like 1 billion colors. Like they wanted everything to be colorful. They wanted like everything that these guys wear to be super colorful. And I mean, even Brian's fucking tie-dye t-shirt, you know, just like crazy colors. And
I almost wore my Pink Floyd tie-dye shirt, but I was like, I'm throwing on the Bob Marley. Fuck
nice. And but one thing that they said is like the work, the living space and the workspace are like total opposites because like everything's colorful there. It's all vibrant. But then you go to Thurgood's office, you know, where he works. And that's where Mary Jane drops him off at. It's all bland. It's all white. It's boring, you know, and it's like polar opposite worlds of, you know, his real life and the work life. Mary Jane drops everyone off like right in front of Thurgood's office. They go into the office and it's I can't remember what it's called, but they do all types of clinical testing for the government. And
that was hilarious.
Scientist.
He's a candy stuff.
He's mopping up in there. Thurgood is, and some scientist comes up and says, "Hey, janitor, I know this isn't your job, but I need you to go down to the supply room and get this for me ASAP." And he goes and gets it in. He's like walking around. He's like,
"No, hold on." He goes, "Okay." He goes, "Shit, okay, here finish mopping this shit."
Yeah, I'm gonna take your job.
And go ahead, continue.
And he's walking down, and yeah, he's like smelling. He's like, "Man, what is that? Either someone having a party or."
He starts checking his.
Yeah,
he starts checking his clothes.
Someone needs to do their shirt laundry. And gives the order form over and to the lady, and she was like, "This it?" And he was like, "Yeah, I guess. I don't know." And then comes back with 1 pound of marijuana, all bricked up. And what? He starts going crazy.
He's in heaven.
I just signed for this, and I can take it.
Driven.
Almost having an orgasm right there.
I mean, in my version, he nutted.
Yeah, you nutted. Yeah.
It looked like it. Oh.
Yeah, the unedited version.
Yeah, the bogey
unedited version.
Cut.
Director's cut.
In the bogey cut, he definitely nutted in his pants. She did too.
Brings it back to the scientist, and of course he doesn't want to hand it over. And he was like, and starts looking around. "Okay, here for your troubles. Here, go ahead." And
they scripts a little more off the top.
And it's funny. He was like, "Why did you tell me you were into this? We could have been hanging out months ago." And they said it was for a clinical trial to see if there's any like medicinal, you know, purposes for marijuana. He was like, "Oh, if you need a guinea pig, let me know. My grandfather was a tester in the Tuskegee experiments."
Oh yeah, that was a dirty joke right there. That was low. I was like, very laugh at that one.
The scientist does laugh though.
Well, no, I mean it was awkward for him. He was like, okay.
Yeah, he was kind of bewildered.
Yeah, it was
bewildered, Bogey.
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong because I didn't actually watch it because I've seen this movie like a bazillion. I've seen it exactly 420 times.
They go
exactly 420 times. I shall never watch it again.
He goes back to the house and everyone's there, and he's like, "Hey, I got some weed at work. You guys want to smoke?" And nah, we don't feel like smoking. We're just bumming about Kenny. Let's like 10 seconds go by. "Y'all want to smoke? All right, I'll get Billy Bong Thornton." And but Brian wasn't having it. He's like,
"No, because he's a hey man.
We will not use Billy Bong Thornton without Kenny. That would not be right. Use Wesley Pipes." And Yeah, he starts smoking. Dave Chappelle is the first one who hits it. Everyone's just watching him. A little bit different than before. Before they're all smoking at the same time, hitting the hookah. And then Dave Chappelle starts dying like Bogey is right now. He's like, man, this shit must be good. I see my man cough like that since back in the day.
Yeah.
Then Scarface starts choking, and fucking Brian's like, should I do this, man?
It's like, bitch, you better hit that shit.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Brian,
hold on, let the guy get a load of this shit.
guy gotta try some of this.
Wake the guy up.
And then, so here's the part where, I mean, I feel like this is always going to be open.
This actually happened.
Okay. Yeah, this is what I was going to say. It's always open to interpretation because now they start, he's like, yeah, I can't even move. And he's like, you feel like you're floating? And they all start floating. Like Nelly said with the little...
The out-of-body experiences here.
The goofy effects.
Astral traveling.
He's like, you guys want to go outside? Yeah. Then they're flying around New York, and then they go.
He was in the doggy paddle.
Then they go check in on Kenny, and see, this is where I feel like they were imagining him seeing that because he didn't see them like outside, and it's not like it was like a window that he couldn't see through.
Don't ruin it for me, man.
Well, that's just my thought. Is they were so high that was that part of it was.
For you when you watch the show, Bogey.
It was some science weed, bro. It was some science weed, bro. They were flying, bro.
And Peacock
the dog flew. How the dog fly?
They go visit Kenny, and he's making the fish faces. You are not a fish. You're a man. Oh man, see they get real deep with Kenny, and you know, I mean, it's sweet virgin ass. We got to save Kenny's sweet virgin ass.
They turned it up all the way right there. Huh? It was like, okay, we figured it out. But hold on, let me get back to this. The dog was flying, bro, and the guy.
They floated. He floated.
Floated, flying, tomato, potato. Come on.
But everybody is just so fucked up. That's just what they see.
That was the best watching the dog float, though. Seeing the dog float like that. That made my night.
You know why that's funny? Because, like, shout out to man's best friend. Anybody who had a dog and you smoke, bro, the dog's getting high with us, bro. I don't give. It sounds so wrong for animal. It's not animal cruelty. That's actually, matter of fact, they give CBD treats now to yapping dogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they make it for your yapping ass little dog. It's like, here's a treat, mom. Now they cooling out. Like, yep, that's right.
And this is kind of like the start of everything. Like after they see, because they just come back to their body and they're just there, right? Like that's why I think that it didn't happen.
The OBE, out of body experience.
Yeah, it's like they're meditating, you know, almost like to a certain extent.
Like a yogi.
He's like
a boss yogi.
Why we can get Kenny out. We'll sell weed.
they were smoking some really good science weed, and they were having a kundalini. Is that what they call it?
Kundalini, yeah.
Yeah.
The energy going up and down the spine. You harness that, man.
Woo! Up and down all the chakras.
Harness that stuff. It's like tantric, very tantric.
And this is, I think this is a good time to close out Act 1. The whole story's been built, and then now we kind of know where at least the story's going to go. For everyone watching on live with us, we're going to, end the show, quote unquote, right now, but just make sure that you hang with us because we're not ending the show. We're just moving on to Act 2. We recorded all at once. So, see you guys for Act 2. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube Silver Screen Breakdown show and the Silver Screen Breakdowns podcast on Apple, on Spotify, everywhere. And the episodes are dropping Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday when we have bonus content. And now we know. Remind them where to find you at.
Tune into Act 2.
Nelson Tynes on Instagram and Nelson Tynes. Search on YouTube. You'll find my material, my work, my past work. I have some current work coming up that I'm shooting right now. It's a short film. Another one I just shot. Yes.
And tune into Act 2. Will Thurgood and the gang save Kenny's sweet virgin ass?
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
painting pictures, shit. This ain't a dream, we really live this shit. Don't intervene, yo, we with this shit. That's word of most high, we the most lit.